Hey everybody, this is Stephen Harris coming to you live from my home in Charlotte, North Carolina. Now I am here to talk about my recent encounter at the comic book store. See, back in the late 1980s, early 90s, I was big into collecting comic books. And when I was a kid, I just assumed these comic books were going to, at some point be worth so much money and people were going to want to pay me top dollar for them when I became an adult, and in this age group I am now at 35. I really was excited as a kid to invest in, at the time I didn't know the terminology, but what I thought were assets that would have a big return on the investment. Well, all these years go by, you know what I mean? Almost 30 years go by. I go to the comic book shop recently and I was amazed at what they offered me for these 29 comic books. So if we total out what I, as a kid, with Christmas money, allowances, and all that kind of stuff, invested in over that few year period, this is probably worth $100+ here, what I paid out of my pocket as a kid. That's when money was worth more because of things like inflation. The value of the dollar has gone down over these years. But in 2017, going to a comic book shop where the comic book guys open their books to value everything and tell me how long these things would be on their shelves to sell them and all that, I was offered a whopping $4 for this entire pile. As a kid, almost 30 years ago, I paid $100+ for everything, and I was offered a mere $4 today. And so what this inspired me to talk about is the whole idea of knowing what is an asset and what is a liability. I thought this was a hard asset in the sense that it would gain value over time, and at very least it wouldn't lose its value. But when it comes to collectibles like this, we're at the mercy of what anybody is willing to pay for it. So it's not like you have a $100 bill from 1800s that at face value it's still worth $100, but because it's old, it's a collector's item, someone is willing to pay more for it. And so when I started to think about the principle here, I started also thinking about things like, where am I spending my time? Am I investing my time into things that are not going to bear fruit long term, that are not going to be a good return on my investment? Relationships, yes, I have my wife, she's top priority. I have my parents, it's my job to continue to be in touch with them because at some point they will be elderly and I need to be there for them, be able to provide as much as I can and stuff like that. And there are family members, there's people, and eventually I'm going to have kids, there's just people and relationships that are important. But there's also relationships that sometimes don't amount to anything, or they don't have any long-term good that really comes out of them. And so my challenges here is, what are we investing our time, our money, our emotions, our relationships, all these things in? Like these comic books, do we think, hey, this is cool, I can't wait to get somewhere because of this? And the time goes on and nobody cares anymore. Sure, I could go on eBay and try to sell, individually sell each one, but the amount of time, energy to find that one person who's interested in that comic book and going to the post office, all these different factors, it's really not worth my time to maybe make, a good $40 and spend 50+ hours of my life trying to make a little bit of money. I'm just not interested in doing all that. But that same principle can apply to every area of life. As a Christian, I say, well, okay, what has God called me to do? And then that has to become my top priority. Otherwise, I'm not going to get to where He intends me to go, or it's just going to delay the process. I'm going to have to go through a lot more butts on the head and a lot more trials and tribulations simply because I'm not putting my time, my energy, and my emotions into the right things. We can all hope for the best, but unless we really have a good idea where we're investing our time and our energy and our resources, our relationships, our emotions, all those things, like me, we will be disappointed more often than not because we meant well, but we never really took the time to have the foresight to say, is this really helping me out in the long term? Is this really accomplishing what needs to be accomplished? Is this what God has, is God's best for my life? So that's all. Here's my challenge. Forgive me, I've never wanted to offend people here, but I want to inspire people to think differently, to get out of that mindset of thinking. You know, if we're at a job that is not getting us towards the goal, it's good to have a job, it's good to work, it's good to have an income, but are we getting closer to the goal as a result of our jobs, our specific friendships, whatever it be? Fill in the blank. What is the thing that we are investing in? Time, energy, resources, emotions, whatever it be. And is that helping us get to the goal? So that's my challenge here. Be encouraged. The good and beautiful thing is, no matter where we are in life, we can always hit the reset button and begin afresh now. So let's look at, where are we investing our time and our energy, our resources, our emotions, and et cetera, et cetera. And what can we do to make modifications and changes to now better get us towards our goal? Anyway, I'm Stephen Harris, coming to you from my home in Charlotte. God bless you, and you have a wonderful day.